Hey gang, John Bacarella here with Sportsman's Direct's Lake St. Clair Ice Fishing Report. That's right, this is Ice Fishing Report finally for this year. So let's start out with this. First of all, have spud will travel. That's what you guys have to do this weekend. Hopefully this will be the only weekend you really have to do that. We've got a good base out there that started out, but we had a lot of ice that blew in, so you've got all kinds of different ice thicknesses out there. You got probably 3 to 4 inches in a lot of areas, but then you got some of that stuff that it's like one whack and it's like, you know, oh my gosh. So you really got to pay attention when you're out there. Now, right now you have glare ice conditions. We just got done doing a drive. We went all the way up on the north end, all the way up to the raft, and then we kind of worked our way back down. And so I guess I'll just start out by saying this. Some of the best ice we saw was right up in Fairhaven, and it was not the busted up stuff. It was real, it was glare ice, crystal clear, and the water up there is crystal clear as well. We talked to a couple of guys coming off of the ice at the public boat launch up there in Fairhaven, up by the Blue Water Bait and Tackle up there. And the guys I guess they did pretty good out there. They had to pick through a lot of fish, but the one thing they said was, and I guess we'll just cut to those guys and we'll patch them in. How you do?
Got
you get any fish?
Short through them. Got quite a few though.
Good.
The problem is, with the ice being clear and stuff, they're so skittish.
Yep.
And with everyone walking around, it makes it tough.
Water pretty gin clear out there too, or is it off color?
It's a little murky, but you can see bottom just fine. Definitely enough to sight fish.
How much ice? 4
inches.
Not bad. Open water is not too far though. Hopefully the wind keeps blowing and doesn't come in and bust it up.
Yep.
Did you get enough for a meal?
Oh yeah.
We got pretty good.
Good. Bead spoons or bait or what?
Spoons.
Good.
Don't touch that live bait anyway.
But bottom line is it was good ice conditions up there. We drove a little further. We drove up to the raft. Now up at the raft there was quite a few guys out on the ice, and I would say the same kind of ice conditions, clear water as well. So the panfish bite I know has been kind of up and down. Guys have been fishing that all week, but they have been pulling some nice crappies and gills out of there, and I'm sure they've been getting some perch mixed in as well, and I think they've been seeing some pike up there too. So you got perch fishing over there by the boat launch at Fairhaven. You got panfish up by the raft, and then we drove down a little bit further. Now there was a lot of open water all the way from probably what we used to call Buds, all the way down to Brandenburg. Brandenburg did have some ice, and we got some pictures of that. So the ice went out to about where the end of the pier was at down there, and then we had waves after that. So that ice right out in front was really skinny. I did not have any success getting out on it, but a lot could change in the next 72 hours. Coming back further down here to Selfridge, ice out in front of Selfridge, there was guys out there, but I'm sure they got on from the boat launch at Selfridge. The ice right there off of that front wall where all the rocks are, that ice is really shaky right now. Right up along the shoreline there, it's really soft. I mean, it was like 32 degrees when we were checking it. So I'm sure the ice out a little bit was a lot thicker, but the stuff right down, if you were going to try to climb down onto the ice off of the seawall, was not good. But there were quite a few guys at the ramp there, and they were catching some panfish. They're also getting some panfish behind the store at Selfridge, and pretty much all the canals all the way up and down the lake right now are frozen. Guys are fishing those. Now, we came down a little bit further, and one of my spots that I always like to check is South River Road, and especially the boat launch side. And I actually walked out there at the boat launch, and that ice right there was old ice that blew in early in the week, and the thickness was pretty darn good. So other areas that are worthy of noting, the back basin at Metro has got fish and has got decent ice. The actual basins there, so the marsh at Metro, the basins are froze up. Those are going to be getting thicker by the minute down there, and they took a couple of whacks of the spud pretty good as well. Now, there were other areas that I checked, like Off the beach at Metro was also walkable ice. There was a couple of guys there as well. We went down further and down to Crocker Road. There were guys out in front of Crocker, but there was definitely open water out in front of Crocker. We drove to Beacons. Off of Beacons, you can see that there's quite a bit of ice all the way. There's ice all the way from Beacons all the way up into Metro and then all the way down into the mile roads. That ice down there is not walkable yet, but in the next 72 hours, I expect that ice to thicken up quite a bit. Let's hope that we don't have a lot of snow out of this snow event that we got coming. I'm hoping this little one we got going through right now is pretty much done. It's giving us some onshore winds right now that it is kind of messing up the ice right along the shoreline by pushing water up. But it's supposed to get crazy cold starting, I think, tomorrow night and then going through the weekend. So as long as we don't get a lot of snow, and if we do get snow, if we get some wind to blow that off the ice, we should be good going forward for the rest of the season. So guys, that's all I've got for you right now. You got perch and panfish action. You don't have any walleye action yet because the guys are not getting out to those walleye areas to that depth of water. But so we got some good fishing ahead of us, and hopefully you guys will be able to get out this weekend.